Hi, I'm Anna and we're back again for another tutorial in After Effects. Today I want to focus on turning a two-dimensional image into a three-dimensional sphere that moves on all axes. I've chosen a map of the world, so we will be creating Earth. Um, at the same time, we will also learn how to create a star field and some interesting lighting along the way using light rays. So I really enjoy doing this type of stuff in After Effects. So hopefully that will come through and you'll enjoy it as well. All right, let's get started. So, hi, here we are. We're this is the scene that we will be creating. So, we shall start off here with a new composition. Um, so, we grab this and drag it into the new comp section. Okay, so now we have a flat representation of the Earth. So, what we need to do now is spherize it. So in our effects and presets, we put CC sphere. And then straight away it becomes a three-dimensional sphere. So we'll need to make it a little bit larger. So let's increase the radius up, say to about there. And I think it's a little bit dark for my liking, so you can adjust the light. So for example, we can have it really bright, the light height and then we have here the light direction, so which way you want the direction to be coming from. So that's probably a little bit too bright right now, so let's leave it as that for the moment, and we can come back to it. So the next step is to make a star field from which it will be behind the globe or the Earth. So new solid and make it comp size. And in here we write CC star burst. And I should have actually made that solid white, but that's okay, because what we do here, click on the layer, set solid settings, and click on the color, and then on the picker, choose white. Press OK. Now we've got more stars than we can count here, so we need to reduce that. But let's start by putting it behind the globe. And we'll scatter them a bit to make them a little bit more sparse. Okay, now at the moment the speed, that's way too fast. So we need to reduce the speed. And that's done up here. So generally just above midpoint will give us a fairly decent movement for the effect that we're aiming for. Okay. So next, I found this photo here of the Orion Nebula, and I quite like that because it sort of gave me this bright light in the middle of it, which I wanted to put behind the globe. So we're going to put that here in between the globe and the stars. Right, so at the moment it's really bright, but we're going to change the blending mode to that, and probably even reduce it a little bit. Probably about there, I'd say. Okay, so we'll bring the blending mode here to linear dodge. Okay, so we need to actually darken it up a little bit more. So what I've done is created a new solid. This one's going to be a navy, sort of dark navy color, dark blue, and make it comp size, and we keep that there. Now we bring that just above the Orion Nebula layer, and we change the blending mode for the blue layer to overlay. So that now has given us a rich color, and if we render it a little bit, we can see the star field moving. And I've just realized I forgot to rotate the globe, so let's go back and we'll do that. So the globe is here. Oh, I better save it too, by the way. So okay, to rotate the globe, we need to go to the effects, and up here it says rotation. So here we can rotate it on the X, Y, and Z axis. So the X goes up and down. Okay. Put it back to 0. The Y goes across. Back to 0. And the Z goes side to side. So we can put that back to 0. So we actually need to move or to rotate the globe on the Y axis. So we set a keyframe here at the beginning, scrub right to the end. Now we want it to be 360, so to do a complete revolution during the time of the composition. So where are we? 359. That's close enough. So as we can see here now, the Earth is rotating. So there is a real sense of movement in the clip now, as you've got the stars coming towards you and the Earth moving. And we've got that lovely light behind the Earth. Okay, so next we just want to create some lighting, like even points of light, sort of just to highlight some of the stars. And so to do that, there's probably a number of ways of doing it, but the one that for this particular experiment, I find is probably going to be more effective are the light rays. So what we do, we can put them on the layer of the nebula, but I find I actually have more control when I put these sort of things on an adjustment layer. You can just move it and manipulate it a bit better. So let's go here, right click, new adjustment layer. And here we write light rays. Okay, so we want to generate CC light rays. So we pop that in there. Now, we want the center of one of the light rays to be approximately here. Now, see all of it immediately, we see a ray of light be emanating from that star. Right, so that's probably a little bit too strong, but we can adjust that. So let's bring the radius of that down a bit, and maybe the intensity down a little bit. Okay, so this is with the light. Now this is without the light. So it makes a difference in the overall appearance of the clip. Now we can animate the frequency of the light. We can turn it like into a pulsating type of light. So what we can do is create another expression. So we put, let's do it this time on the intensity. Okay, so click press Alt, then click intensity. So our window opens up, and this time here we're going to do a wiggle expression, which gives it random movements of, it will give it a randomness of and pulsate. So we write here wiggle. Let's write here 10 times 30. Okay, so let's see here what that looks like. Now we can see how it's starting to pulsate, but just give it a few seconds to render, and we'll be able to see the real timing of it. Right, actually I should reduce that to half. Right, so see how this light now is pulsating. Okay, so that's sort of one light. Now I'd like to do another one somewhere over here perhaps. So we can new adjustment layer and bring in CC light rays again and pop that in there. So now I'd like to have a light, say here. Okay, so let's take the center. I want it here. The intensity I'll increase. The radius I will increase. Okay, so, and we'll put another expression in. So we have press Alt, and then at the same time press intensity. And let's write another expression here, wiggle. Let's make that, what shall we make it? 10, 30 with the other one. Let's make it 15 times 40. Okay, you can experiment with these figures. The important thing is to have the open and closed brackets and a comma separating the numbers. So that's the important thing. So now we have a light emanating from this star, and it's actually coming in front of the Earth, which I'm not sure how realistic it is, but that probably doesn't look too bad. Yeah, so there you have it. I mean, it wasn't really that difficult to create this effect. It's just a matter of experimenting with the various layer modes and or the blending modes, because I think that is one of the secrets for just different types of lighting. I mean, there's probably a lot more we can do to this, like add a glow around the Earth, or maybe some slight movement in the nebula, but this at least gives you an exposure to a few different tools that After Effects has to offer. Yeah, so look, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I look forward to going through something different at another time with you all. Thank you very much once again. Thank you. Bye.